Hey there, guys, and happy Friday. You know, I'm delighted to see you guys again. I'm always delighted uh, to see you guys. I want to give a thanks to all of the supporters, the guests, and the viewers, because without you, there would be no Indie Spotlight Philly. I am your host, Shayrenee, and I want you to take a look at my Instagram bio. I have two links in that bio. The first one is my YouTube entitled The Indie Spotlight Philly. Like, share, comment, and subscribe to the Indie Spotlight Philly on YouTube. You can catch all of the latest and the past episodes of the Indie Spotlight Philly. So go and check that out and subscribe. Anybody that subscribes, I will subscribe back. And the second link is for the Indie Spotlight Philly podcast, which is available on Anchor.fm, Spotify, and Google Podcasts. It's available on a couple more podcast stations, but those are the ones that are most prominent and that come to mind. So the Indie Spotlight Philly podcast has the first season uploaded on there. It's 20 episodes, so go and check that out. Like that, share that, subscribe it. I will also subscribe back to anybody that subscribed to me. But tonight's episode of the Indie Spotlight Philly Fridays, happening at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time via Instagram Live, is a great one. We have an all-black armed security company entitled 3CPROTECTION. We'll be talking to Christian Beard. I think I'm saying his name right, Christian Beard of 3CPROTECTION. And we will also be talking to a talented rapper and lyricist, Timmy Turner. So I see Christian's in the room now, so we will be having our first interview with him. So let me invite him to the camera so we can start the interview. Not sure which one you want to go live from, 3CPROTECTION or Christian. We'll see. Just tell me which one you want to go live from. And just to let me know. Okay, 3CPROTECTION. Okay, we'll go live from there. That's fine. Okay, so we'll put that down here. Hello.
Hi.
Hi, how are you?
Hi, nice to finally come in acquaintance with you. How are you?
Yes. So I wanted to tell you, thank you for being reachable and for me to be able to do this interview with you, because I feel like the service that you provide is very, very important in our community.
Thank you.
So, okay. So first, tell me, where are you from?
Well, I'm originally from Shayrenee, Pennsylvania, which is like right outside of West Oak Lane, Philadelphia area.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, so that's where I grew up. I grew up mainly in like West Oak Lane, Monterey area.
Great. And I see you doing, I look at your Instagram and I see you doing like all these things, and you guys are doing classes and all that stuff. You know, I've never been to a gun range and everything like that, but I do promote responsible gun owning and gun training. So tell me, is this your company, 3CPROTECTION?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so that's your company. Okay, could you tell me a little bit about 3CPROTECTION?
Well, 3C protection is something that I decided to start in the security industry because over time I just realized that I didn't really have the want to really work for anyone anymore, but I knew that I always wanted to do something with protection or in law enforcement rather. So what I decided to do was I decided to just start something where like-minded individuals could come together and we could, provide services in many different matters, especially with the high different levels of violence that we have going on today. I think that was one of the main reasons why I wanted to start my own situation, was because I wanted to also provide a service, but also try to bridge the gap in different ways so that we can start, I guess you could say, fixing some of this miscommunication we have about security and the people and law enforcement and the people as a whole.
Right, and I think it is a really brave and a very a much needed thing, and it's a great idea.
I'm sorry, I can't see you.
Can you see me?
I can't see you.
Oh my God. Okay, so you can't see me. So try to because I can see you and I can see myself. So you can try to come out, and then I'll try to request you again under 3CPROTECTION. Would you like to try to do that?
No problem.
Okay. Okay, guys, we were having a little bit of technical difficulties with Christian from 3C Protection, but we will try to reconnect now because he said he couldn't see me. So let's see. Hope you can see me now. I think. Can you see me now?
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, good, good, good. Oh, great. So now I was saying that the company that you came up with, I think it's a very brave thing and a much, much needed thing in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, where a lot of violence is happening. And the one thing that I noticed that was very unique is because that we have a lot of violence at live events, clubs, and bars. So could you tell me a little bit about protecting live events, private events, and bars? Because it's really hard to feel safe. Like I literally did not feel safe going back out to a club because every other weekend you hear about some shooting happening at a
Well,
club in Philadelphia.
I think one of the bigger problems with when it comes to protecting the nightlife when you're dealing with night events is the want or the lack of having security. A lot of people, a lot of business owners don't believe that things will happen until it happens, and that's how we are in life, right? We're not just going to put it on business owners. We always sometimes wait until the last minute to do what we should have done in the beginning. And I think when
Mhm.
the first thing is having a good team. You have to know that you have to know what you're getting into so that you can form a solid team. When you have a solid team that trains together, works together, has the same mindset, then it makes it one step easier to begin to come into the night of knowing that this is what we have to do, this is the job, this is the task, and this is what we're here to do. I think where the problem comes and why it seems there's so much violence that takes place at these events or at these spaces, it's not necessarily the space or the event. It's the people that are bringing their energy and their problems from this area
Right.
and this area. And now we're in the same setting,
Hmm.
or this person might be a little bit too drunk, or this person might be upset about this. You have a lot when you have alcohol, drugs, and women and men. It don't it does
Yeah.
it doesn't mix. It's a plan for it. It's actually a recipe for disaster. But this is why we're here to prevent certain things. We're supposed to be the eyes and the ears before people can see and hear certain things. So I think it's all about how you plan. If piss poor planning is going to give you piss poor results, if you plan correctly, if you treat people like with respect, the biggest thing is treating people with respect. That's the one thing that I pride my team with. And I know it's hard sometimes when we're dealing with people who aren't in their right state of mind. But the one thing I always try to do is keep it as respectful as we can. That's one of the biggest things because at the end of the day, they're still people. They might not be people
Hmm.
that they might not be people that we're very fond of in the moment, but they're still people.
Hmm.
And that's something that I try to keep in the limelight of dealing with the nightlife. We're dealing with people at the end of the day.
Exactly, right? You're dealing with customers and patrons, and they are
Mm.
people. So you do have to have a spot, for humility, even when
Indeed,
you're interviewing, you talk to people.
indeed.
Um, so tell me, how long has your company existed?
Well, honestly, I've only started my company since like the end of January, the beginning of February, and
Oh, okay.
one of the motivating factors for me was I've always been an Indian. I've always been good at being an Indian, which means that I've always been good at following and taking direction. But
Hmm.
at some point in times, my moral compass outweighed what I believe was financial gain. So
Hmm.
some certain things in certain situations I will be put in. I wasn't comfortable solely because there was a financial gain to be had at the end. I wasn't comfortable with it, and I
Hmm.
just felt like sometimes, and just dealing with certain people, you have to be on their time. You have to do it with you have to do it their way because you're working underneath them. So
Yeah.
I just realized that I couldn't do it. As far as the age in life, I had to step to the side and make my own path because I realized every table that I was sitting down, I was getting no substance. So I had to create my own table.
Right. Isn't that, and that's something I really, really pride a lot of the Black community and the African American community is that we are some of the best creators and of what we create,
Hmm.
right?
Hmm.
So also tell me, what is like the process? So like I'm thinking of like the NRA and gun rights and stuff. What is the process of someone becoming a licensed gun owner, a responsible gun owner?
Um, well, for Philadelphia and the state of Pennsylvania, you would apply online.
Mm-hmm.
You would submit, and this is how it should go. We won't go into the many hiccups that the many law-abiding
Sure.
citizens have to deal with. But
Sure.
typically, how it should be is you apply. You need to have like two forms of ID. You should have a 2x2 photo of a headshot money order, and I think I believe they're going to ask you for a couple of references on your application or what have you. But outside of
Mm-hmm.
that, you wait for your application to be processed. Now the pickup dates are ridiculous. Like I got approved for my renewal back in February and wasn't able to pick it up till May. So the process should be pretty straightforward. And I also have the process in my bio. If anyone needs the
Oh,
link,
okay.
if anyone needs the link to try to get their PA license to carry, I do have that link available for those who need it. But it should be a straightforward process. And if not, then that's another conversation. It's
Okay,
pre- it's, it's
that's fine.
pretty it's pretty straightforward. It's pretty straightforward.
And so how long have you been how long have you had like a gun license?
Well, are you all right? So the gun license, I want to make sure that we're on the same page. The gun license is
Mhm.
separate from your agent license.
Yes, yes, I know. Yes, I'm just
Okay.
thinking of how long you've been
So as I've been able to have a license to carry for 1, 2, 3, 4. This is my first renewal. So like
Okay.
6 years. This is my first
Wow.
renewal. But this is the thing. Back when I got it the first time, it was just more so just to do it.
Hmm.
I owned one firearm before the age of 24, but I was never really majorly into guns. I never was a person who wanted to carry guns, wanted to own guns, wanted to shoot them, wanted to use them. And as time went on, I just there used to be a peace of mind of walking down the street. You
Hmm.
don't have that when innocent people. It's not even just like people who are violent or doing crime or against each other. You have innocent people that are now being taken out because of what plagues among us. So yeah, I was never really big into
Yeah.
firearms. Never.
Yeah, I noticed there were also a lot of I noticed there was a lot of accidental shootings, amongst a lot of youth
Mm,
and stuff like that.
well,
So good.
the only accident when it comes to a child harming his or herself with a firearm is negligence.
Hmm. Right.
There is no accident.
Okay.
Me having two small children who
Hmm.
me owning multiple firearms there
Hmm.
sometimes that these children killing themselves are why we need to have more inner city classes about proper gun safety, gun handling, gun
Yep.
storing. If
Yeah.
Now my sons aren't at that age yet, but my older son knows that if he sees a firearm, which he will never see laying out, he knows to
Right.
come let me know. Though he understands that this is not a toy, and every now and then I'll ask him, "Hey son, what is this?" And he'll tell me it's a firearm. He understands it's not a toy because I put that in him early. I bring him around the gun shop so that he understands, so that he sees what's going on. A lot of ignorance in the community is because there is no knowledge about it. Now,
Right.
we can choosing to stay ignorant is your choice. Being ignorant from the beginning is what we all are until we gain the knowledge behind it. And we also have many different people. In case a lot of people don't know, I'm sitting in front of the only black owned gun shop in Pennsylvania that I know, Surplus Arm here in Chester, and we have multiple people
Wow.
here, multiple people in here who are instructors, military vets, ex-police, agents.
Yes.
We have it
Yes.
right here in Chester. So I mean, if we make time for everything else. So
Hmm.
that in a world where it seems like everyone's getting a gun or everyone has access to gun, the least we
Yes.
could do is learn how to properly store, handle, load, unload, and make sure they're safe. Because
Yeah.
in a two children being shot in 1 week
Yeah.
at the
I,
same age, I believe. You know,
yeah. Like, yeah.
so
I, I was hoping, I was like, well, honestly, like I was like, why aren't you like on the news, like or something, like, you know what I mean, talking to parents and talking to, like you said, people who have small children or anybody about gun safety. That's just as it's just as needed as you owning a gun, you having a gun and
yes,
stuff
ma'am.
like that.
Yes,
So
ma'am.
I really, really feel like I feel like a lot of times when I look at like a media, everybody shows like problems, and there's a lot of solutions out there. And because the solutions are made by some entrepreneurs or smaller businesses or, startup businesses and stuff like that, it doesn't get the recognition that it needs.
True.
So that's why I was like, I was like, someone that has you're from Philadelphia and you're against it. And it's like what you do is like the complete opposite, the complete 360 of what I keep seeing on news. You know what I'm saying?
Because
And
see,
they don't expose stuff like that.
because the one thing that I had to teach, I had to program my mind to accept is there is no gun violence. There is just
Hmm.
violence, and
Right.
the tool being used is the gun, because we don't talk about the murders that are done by hand, the murders that are done by knife, the murders that are done by vehicle. We speak on what brings media attention, and firearms and guns have always been the way of America. Have
Exactly.
always been the way, has always been the way of the land. So we highlight this because it's the wrong. And here we're going to go a little deep. We highlight gun violence in the urban communities because of the complexion of
Hmm.
the person that holds the firearm. Because
That's right.
in we have one demographic of people who teach their kids how to learn how to shoot and handle rifles at the age of 6, shooting bears, deer.
Yeah.
Why
Yeah.
so why can't we teach our children a different
We
way?
definitely, yeah.
But
They
you know how
definitely, yeah.
our children learn and hear gunshots ducking from them, getting hit by them. That's how our children learn about guns, getting shot by one.
Right.
Picking up one and putting it to your little brother's head because you don't know that's the wrong thing to do.
Exactly. I really, really feel like I really, really feel like what you're doing is something very, what shall I say? Something that's very, very monumental, and it needs what you're doing needs to be exposed just as much as what is going on, because there is a solution, and there's a solution right in our community, and it is by someone that is, um, of what they say is scarce in Philadelphia, or young black males, or black on black violence, which there is, like you said, no such thing as, it's just proximity killings,
And
and they're different. And they're
and
different.
like me and my team, we just did. I don't know if you heard or if you did hear about there was a shooting on 60th and Sampson,
Mm.
the 4th of July, over 100 shots.
Yes,
So
yes. Hmm.
me and my team, we did the visual balloon release for that. And
Hmm.
one thing that always hits me here, because I've been to many funerals. I play the piano for different funerals and stuff like that. So
Oh, you play the piano.
yeah, my degree is in music. That's a whole nother story. So yeah,
We gonna get that. Well, let me
but
tell you this, and then we can get to that. We can
but
give it. Go ahead.
I will say that the screams and the pain in these mothers
Mhm.
is something that I just cannot stand for any longer.
Right, right. And
Because
then your father, yeah.
like I can't fathom to take I can't fathom hearing my children's mom screaming because one of our boys have been shot by some young
Mhm.
punk. Because these are at this point, I used to be. I'm very cautious of how I view our people, because even in the wrongdoing, you don't want to be sure. You don't want to be. You still don't want to put down our people as a whole. But
Exactly.
on a personal level, it's becoming disgusting.
It is.
It's disgusting when you wake up every day and the first thing you see is killing, 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 shooting, stabbing, raping. Here, it's just like, how can you not feel like, you know what? I might need to give me a gun today.
Exactly. Yeah. And something about it's also something about the night. It's something about the nightlife and these events. And I want you also to talk about a little bit about what kind of services 3C Protection provides. Like what
I
does
would
your company
so
provide?
it's well the main thing that we service at the moment are like venues, event spaces, and at this point, honestly, anything that's really legal and necessary. So as of lately, a lot of calls for funerals, vigils, personal escorts.
Yeah.
Um, we I believe that 3C Protection is moving more in a direction towards politically and civil events. I realized that I realized
Mm-hmm.
that my personality and the people that I have around me, let me just say this since I'm on here. Without my team, there is no 3C protection. I want to make that clear. I know the spotlight is here, but without the team and the home base and everyone that supports and that comes out with me to make this possible, there is no 3C protection. So shout out to the home team real quick because we got to be mindful of that. But
Well, you can tell me about some of the people on your team
so
as well,
all
if you
right,
like.
so the main some of the main people that I started doing this with, when I just said, this is what I want to do. This is what we're gonna do. This is we're gonna make it happen. Is the first person I told was my fiance, of course. I mean, um, she knows that she 3C protection stands for Capriel, Cameron, and Caden, my family. Because
Wow.
the first people I protect are those three every day, all day, 24/7, 365. Those are my responsibilities. So, and I always wanted to make sure that the reason why I was doing this was always linked back to them, regardless. I'm going a lot. And my fiance carries a heavy load and not a load that many females can carry because I'm always here and going, here and going. I'm here and I'm going because she realizes that I'm a hustler and I'm trying to get us to the next level. So
Mm-hmm.
she's major player number one. Major players number two, three, four, five, six would have to be my friends, my brothers and sisters, Drew, LeVar, Handy, Naomi, Frank. It's just a lot of people that when I call them, they're there. If we're not working and one of us call, we show up. We're a family at the end of the day. At the end of the day, we're all 50% of the reason if we make it back home. We have to have each other's back when it's us versus 150 strangers who are looking to cause a problem or in a way to cause a problem.
Mm-hmm.
So, having a strong team that doesn't question you in a moment. I'm very I have a very strong personality where if you don't know me, you're going to take me wrong. So I like the fact that my team supports me and we can talk about whatever disagreements or whatever things that we had or whatever things we went wrong because our goal is to make it home. We'll figure out everything else once we're all home in our beds. That's the
Yeah.
main goal at the end of the night. So, um, just and if I forgot a few people, but my main thing is doing what should have been done for me and teaching as much as I can teach. I'm always going to be a student when it comes to being an agent. When it comes to being a possible police in the future, I'm always going to be a student because the moment you stop learning is the moment when ignorance can begin to take over. And that's something that I think that we as a community have to start understanding. We have to understand that
Mm-hmm.
the reason why I believe that as a whole we're so misguided is the lack of being willing to be taught something new outside of your norm or outside of what you're used to or outside of what you're
Mm-hmm.
used to seeing or hearing. I promise
Mm-hmm.
people, I could tell people from a personal aspect. Me 4 years ago, before my first son was born, I was lost. I was confused. I was always depressed.
Hey,
I didn't
Tracy.
I didn't know what was going on. So
Mm-hmm.
I had to I had to take a step back and say, what are you doing that's keeping you from being where you want to be? That's keeping you from going where you want to go. That's keeping you from seeing the things and doing the things you wanted to do.
Mm-hmm.
I just had a memory this morning that told me this day last year I was on the side of a road with three flat tires. And it just shows you when you really put your time and your effort and what your calling is, when you stop focusing on everything else around you and focus on what you're here to do, it will speak to you. Because I realize the more and more events I do, the more and more people I come in contact with, the more and more people that me and my team make feel protected. That's what it's about. That's where the greater peace and the greater sense of joy come from. Because I always tell myself this, and it's something that I'm gonna teach my kids. Money is the result of labor. Do something that you enjoy so that you'll never work a day in your life. Because if we only do things for the money, you'll never be happy. You'll never be
Yeah.
happy. We have millionaires and celebrities who have millions of dollars who commit suicide because they're not happy.
Yeah.
See, and the last thing, I one of my older mentors. This is very big when it comes to nightlife. A lot of people drink their mental issues away, smoke, dance, pop pills, their mental issues and their daily struggles and their daily traumas. Because when you do sit there and give somebody 30 seconds of an ear, they tell you, oh man, I'm sorry about that earlier, man. My mom died. I'm sorry about that
Mm-hmm.
earlier. It's the anniversary of my dad's death.
Yeah.
They start
Yeah.
they start talking to you when you got to put them out, or you got to tell them to step outside for a second to calm down, and they start
Yeah.
giving, like, a lot of people deal with their traumas through nightlife.
Yeah. Definitely a huge that is a huge part of a distraction. And like you said, a lot of times we don't look at um what's going on mentally, the
Mm.
mental health of the urban community. So I definitely applaud you for what you're doing. It's a really really hard thing to handle, but I think you're handling, and I think your team and you are are the people for the job, you know. And I wanted to also ask, how can people get in contact with you, say they would like to use your company for an event or a party or a get together or anything like that?
Well, I have both business pages on Facebook and Instagram, and I'm working on. I actually have one of my web designers working on the 3C Protection website now, so that we can start having people just start going online and directly see what we do, a hands-on view. And I'm also going to have a link where it's called Respectable Partners, where I will put the links of anybody that I use for training, guns, anything related to the 2A community or security or not. I will put them in there so that, because I understand that 3CP may not be the choice for everyone. That's okay.
Right.
That's okay. But I know a lot of different people, and I trust a lot of different people that can be of a service to you.
Mm.
If I am not able to be a service, because my thing is, we need to keep some of this wealth in the community so that we can grow the community. We
Yeah,
can't grow the community if we take the money everywhere else or we give up. Can't give up.
that's right.
You just got to find the
That's
right.
right.
You got to find the right people. And I'm telling you, you will feel the energy. You will feel yourself change. You will feel yourself change.
Definitely, yes, definitely. I really what I want to, oh, I wanted to ask you real quickly before like wrapping up the interview about you talking about you being a pianist.
Okay, so I'm 28. I've been playing the
Mm-hmm.
piano since I was 6 years old. And
Wow.
real quick, so I started playing the piano as a coping mechanism. I grew up in foster care,
Mm.
so
Oh.
I realized early I had an ear for music, because one day I heard something on the TV. I went to a raggedy piano and I played it back,
Wow, great.
and that's where one of my foster parents realized, wow, he has an ear for music. So I've always played music. I played several different instruments. It's just that piano was my main instrument that I focused on in college. Yeah, I can play. I play a lot of
Oh,
different things, from classical, rap. If I can hear it, I can play it. Yeah.
wow, it's very impressive. What school did you go to?
I went to Cheney University.
Oh, wow, wow.
Yeah.
That's great. No, like as being a music student too, I know about how hard and challenging
It
sometimes how
is.
piano can be. How piano can be. So I think that that's awesome. I think it's amazing, and I think that more people need to use your company, and this is the type of stuff that people need to be sponsoring.
I
Like
agree.
need to be sponsoring and giving. This is what the community and people need to be giving money to
Because
and donating to. This is what we need.
the last thing I'll say is, for the people who don't, for the people who haven't been brought to the light, because they're still our brothers and sisters, believe it or not.
Hmm.
I
Right.
mean, it's hard to look at it that way when they're the ones killing and taking from us. But when I realize, when we are out there showing presence, those corners are clear. I said,
Mm-hmm.
if we spent a little bit more money on prevention, you spend
Yeah.
I do believe that you would spend a lot less time on reaction. Police, I believe police job, and there's no discredit to them. Their job is to react. They've been trained, and they train to react. All right,
Mm-hmm.
we're right there in the beginning. So before any police will get there, security is here. Our job is to control the scene, protect life, make sure everyone is okay, de-escalate any situations, and while all still trying to maintain order if chaos or all hell has broken loose. So, so in a way, people don't understand how serious and how hard and how much of a mental strain 4 hours in one night can be. 4 hours.
Mm-hmm.
Most nightlife is, 9 to 2, 10 to 2.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
in a short period of that time, you can have several fights, a shootout, people fighting again, somebody getting maced, a whole swarm. It just, you never know what you're going to walk into on any given night. So the best thing I can say is have a good team, be mentally sound, be spiritually sound. Every one of my guys, to my knowledge, we all say a prayer of our own religion before we come in, because we understand that at any given night, this can be your, just like the police, this can be your last
Yeah.
time walking out of your house. I don't take that for granted.
Exactly.
I don't take, I
Mm-hmm.
don't, you know, these, and then the group that I have around me, I would not pick, no disrespect to any other agents or security team, but the team that we built, it's way deeper than just going out here. These are people that I can literally say I would put my life on the line for, because they've done it for me. We've held each other down in situations that we shouldn't have had to be in, but we were in them and we got out of it. We did what we have to do. And I'm not the best at what I do, but I'm learning every day. And I apply the pressure to get better, and I apply the pressure to make my team better. And as long as we keep doing that, the possibilities are endless. That's all I can say. That's all I got for you in this 30 minutes.
So, so now I feel like I can hold a really really long conversation with you. I wanted to tell you, Christian, I wanted to thank you for coming on the Indie Spotlight Philly, and I want to thank you for talking about your company 3C Protection and your team. And also thank you for the services that you provide to nightlife, clubs, bars, neighborhoods, and anything else. And I want to see people sponsor stuff more like this. And I actually want to see you in the news.
Well,
Okay.
one of my one of my partners. Listen, whenever you see one of my partners, just know you see me. Whenever you see me, you see my partners. So I was on the news in spirit with my partner, because we're all a team. We're one
Yeah.
family. So that
I want to
stuff
see
is
your company
coming.
in the news, shall I say? I want
Everything
to see them talk about that.
everything will come in God's timing
Yes.
and according to His plan.
Exactly.
That's how I operate. So I'm going to tune in for the second part of the interview. I won't hold up
Yeah.
your second part while I'm driving home, and I will tune into the second part of your interview. Thank you for having me, Shay.
Thank you for coming on. Thank you for everybody that watched this portion of the interview. Thank you, everyone.
All right, bye bye.